Hello, everyone.
Hi.
We are now actually live. So
Oh, thanks. Hi there. Hey,
we're
yeah, my name.
delighted to. Yeah, go
What?
ahead. We're actually live. So
Yeah, okay. Well, if you don't know, I'm Karl Guttag. I write a blog mostly AR, but a mixture these days of AR and pass through AR. So most of the things I deal with involve display systems and optics. And the subject of the talk today is about the strengths and weaknesses of common AR optics. Now I'm going to turn my camera off so you can see the whole slide, so I won't be in the thing. But let's make sure
fantastic.
we've
So
got
Carl,
it.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to disappear, and 5 minutes or so before, or actually, if I feel like you're overrunning, I will intervene.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, to the audience, type in your questions. I mean, Carl has a fantastic blog. There is no other blog in this industry that goes into so much detail with so much actual primary information. So I think it's going to be a good talk, and we look forward to it. Good luck.
Thanks. Well, this is basically going to be my usual thing. I'm not very good on the short form, so this is basically a 2 hour talk that's been cut down to 20 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have a lot of slides in here. I'm not going to present all of them. Some of them are just more backup. So with that, let's see if we can get going. Yeah, we're going to talk about a few different types of optics, from diffraction gratings, diffractive waveguides. We're going to talk about reflective waveguides a bit. Off-axis combiner, I'm not going to talk about. We're going to talk very briefly about freeform optics, a little bit about birdbath, because that's much of what's going on today. Going to hit a little bit on pass-through AR, and going to talk very, very briefly about laser scanning, both direct into the eye and also indirect via waveguides. So, um, real quickly on freeform optics, because there's not a lot of people doing this today. I think the more basically freeform involves any kind of freeform optical shape, but generally with a freeform, the traditional one has this wedge, and then you have to have a freeform corrector to make it see through. These end up generally being fairly thick. We are seeing some other interesting takes on this, and I've kind of put in this category. One is a small Israeli company called Arim, and they've been demonstrating some interesting progress. And they've got kind of I put it in this category, but it's actually quite a bit. It's kind of in between a waveguide and freeform, where they're doing some interesting things. Then there's Twos, which has integrated the optics and the lens and everything all in one. Um, Next, this is probably the one we see the most of today. Most famously, it used to be called Nreal. Now it's called Xreal, I guess. Everybody's trying to change their name today. But anyway, it's with birdbath optics. Uh, birdbath is given the name because the light comes from a display device down to a beam splitting mirror and then in and out of a curved, basically a spherical mirror that comes back to the eye. And it's this process of light going in and out of the same place that gives us the name bird bath. Um, Bird baths are cheap. They give very good image quality. They're low distortion. I mean, it's almost, you're basically looking. Normally, they use an OLED, which has got very good image quality, and they support a moderately wide field of view, typically in the order of 50 degrees, 45 degrees. And it's certainly the highest volume today, but it's in a box. The basic physics of it, I talk a lot about this on my website, so I won't go into a lot of detail, but basically it blocks a lot of light. The physics of the way it works means that only about 25% of the real world light will make it to the eye. So it's pretty much like wearing dark sunglasses, even if you're indoors. So you've got these things on all the time. It's also fairly big and bulky. It's generally thick, on the order of about 20 millimeters to an inch. So it's fairly thick. It's not that thin glasses like form factor that people are hoping for. One interesting company out there is called Ant Reality. It's kind of a variation on a bird bath, but they're getting a fairly thin form factor, much thinner form factor than typical bird bath. At the same time, by using two display devices, they can get to a very wide field of view. It works surprisingly well, and what I call it is a dual. I call it